So I was getting a lot of air in my Hayward pool system, 11 years old, and when the pump was running, just a ton of air is coming through, and I could not figure it out. So I did a lot of troubleshooting and eventually spent 95 bucks for a guy to come out, and he finally solved it. And I'm going to give you some tips, and maybe you can save yourself a $95 service call and fix it yourself. Here are the tips I'm going to discuss. Pause the video and quick read through these if you want. I'm going to show you some video and go through each one, and we'll talk about it. So number one would be low water. So if your water is low, mine is actually evaporated slightly, so I'm a tiny bit low. But if you're low, what happens is you go into the skimmer and a lot of air is getting in there, and so you'll get a little whirlpool and some air. Number two will be the flap over here. If that flap gets stuck up, you'll look in here and there will be all air and very little water flowing through. Next is the pump lid and the pump lid O-ring. So when you take off the pump, check the lid, make sure there's no cracks around or air coming through. The pump lid O-ring is the inside. When you flip it upside down, you'll see that ring in there. If it's broken or got some slits or cracks or anything like that, you could be sucking in air through there. Now let's talk the shaving cream trick while I'm here, the bonus shaving cream trick. So it's kind of messy, but I took an aerosol spray, loaded up everything here, underneath, tucked it underneath, all these joints, and then was running the system, and I would flip it off and just look for bubbles, and I wasn't finding anything. I checked both my inputs from the skimmer basket, from the vacuum, nothing was showing. I smothered this part with shaving cream, and I was just not finding anything, and finally had to resort to calling out the pool guy to fix it. When the pool guy came, paid him $95. He did all the same stuff I did. He even took off the pump back here, just make sure the pump was good, seals were good. But here was the eventual culprit. When we shut it off, he finally heard a faint hiss of air, and that was it, our UV ozone thing. So what happened, this thing stopped working after about 2 years, 3 years, and so it's just been sitting here for the last 7, 8 years not doing anything. But there's a pipe here, a hose that's connected here, and this hose comes in and connects over to the intake, one of them here. So as soon as he noticed, then I saw it. Look over here, nice little crack. This 10-year-old hose finally gave out. That was my culprit. $95 fix right there. And basically we just unscrewed it. He had a little cap, put it on there, and we were good to go. The last two are really stretching it. One is all the filters inside the pump. If they're so clogged and full, you might still get air through here because as it forces through the pump and it's going in, there's nowhere for it to force through the air, and so it comes back and it gets backed up in there. So that can happen. I've seen that where the dirty air filters and clogged air filters actually prevent the water from pushing through. Therefore, you just get slowness in the pump and you'll see some air in there. And the final one, follow these two hoses out to the pool, and it's possible you could have an underground leak, but pretty unlikely. You can see, if I were to go down here, I even had some lifting right here. You can't quite tell in this video, but this section right here bumped up about 1 inch with some leaking, and it did crack one pipe. My aerator does not work anymore, or barely trickles out, but the two big pipes that come in from the skimmer and from the vacuum, they didn't break. They've held on. So you would need a lot to have an underground break, because they put in pretty solid PVC piping. So there you go, some tips to save you some money before you invite the pool guy out. Especially try the shaving cream one. Load it all up, see if you can find some leaks, some air, some water squirting out. And again, you'll turn on the pump filter and then turn it off and listen or look for bubbles or water or anything like that. Those are some tips. If nothing works, then got to call the official pool guy, pay some money, and see if they can help and troubleshoot it for you. Good luck. Here's the tips once more. Make sure your water level's not too low, the skimmer's not stuck. Check the pump lid and rings and intake. Mine was the ozone, and if your filters are too clogged, or you might have an underground leak. Again, thanks for watching. At the top, you can click to subscribe, and at the bottom is my next video.